All right, Doc from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's the last day of 2024. Cool, huh? What do we got going on today? Yesterday's stock market started off this way around the world on the downside, and today they're starting off this way on the upside. I don't think the markets really have any real particular clear direction. I don't think anybody's really pushing. I think it's more of just responding to numbers, as they see something come out, not the traders themselves, just an algorithm, and they light up or load up, one or the other. It's one side or the other. I was looking at MVDA and thinking, look at the strength in that. Then yesterday, now you can see here we have the dollar index up right there. And the dollar index basically is, it's sideways with a lot of red, okay? Just pure sideways. So it's trying to tell us it doesn't have any real clear direction. It bounces in and out of buys. It's in weekly buy for a while. You can see it up on the spreadsheet. This is the beta platform, which is even more sensitive, about the same accuracy as the our old platform, maybe even a little bit more accurate as far as I'm concerned. You can see here 13 weeks in a weekly buy in the old platform. You can see here it went into the sell for a couple weeks with this weakness. I guess it was somewhere around in here. It went into the sell with that downtrend and jumped into it. So it's just a little bit more sensitive. They both have the same accuracy rate, so that's fine with me. We've done this experiment for the last, 20 years now, I guess. Let's see, since 2013, 2010, something like that, where we ran 3 platforms, and not one of them worked exactly the same, but they had the same accuracy. So in other words, we sometimes thought it might have something to do with the processor on the individual computers, but they weren't up on a server. I wouldn't put the system up on a server. So, I did it as individual computers so that in case something went down, the other one could go up, that type of thing, and we had them running live all the time. It was interesting. But in this case here, our beta, which it seems to be even more accurate in many ways. Like the natural gas, we went into a little sell on Friday on a weekly sell, but it was in a daily buy. On the natural gas, so it kept you out of the trade. Problem is that the new beta, it was more accurate and stayed in a buy for 3 weeks, and then what we saw is a massive move up in the natural gas. So that's the interesting thing there. And I thought I'd just ramble a little bit here without anybody asking, is there any questions? Check. Yesterday we went to check for the questions, and all of a sudden it all self-exploded. It was kind of weird. But everything's today. I've had everything running now for like a half hour, so nothing exploded, and we're all good here. So here we are on the dollar index, and you can see, it's just kind of sideways, weekly buy, little daily sell. No real. We used to say conviction in the hedge fund world. Always refer to it as a conviction. And so the conviction is pretty much a very active, strong market. That's what it really comes down to. And it's the end of the year. So because of taxes, and I'm always complaining about the taxes, what you get is you get selling to offset gains. Yeah, selling to offset gains. Just shows you even more horrendously how. And there's Robin. Yo, Robin. Happy, healthy, prosperous New Year. Oh, yes. I'm glad you said that, because I'm out there in La La Land most of the time just thinking about markets and other space-orientated things. I'm glad you said something like that. Happy New Year's to everybody. That's right. It is the end of the year. I did say that. Okay. Okay. All right. So, what I wanted to show you Where's it at? We don't have it up on the platform anymore. I guess I might, maybe in the new year we'll find a spot again for the 10-year bond or 30-year bond or something like that. But I want to show you what's going on with them. They rallied yesterday, which I thought was pretty cool. We'll find it. Let's see. Let me see. Oh, I can get rid. No, there it is. How about that? There's a sugar. Okay, good. Robin, down here is the commodities again. Speaking of which, I'll have to give you access to them. I just reloaded them because of coffee and cocoa and all that stuff. It's interesting markets there. But let me go to the 10-year bond and show you the 10-year bond. It's starting to lift back up again, and I'm happy about that. The bond vigilantes are seeing that the adults are taking over. You can see it 2 days in a buy. Now we just need the weekly to turn up. That weekly starts to turn up, and maybe, we're going to start to see a growing, action economy again. And of course, we expect to see that, and we've talked about it and the craziness that it has occurred about the fact that the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Federal Bureau of Labor Statistics, has basically removed over 1.5 million jobs that never existed. And that really puts a strain on our GDP, the gross domestic product, because that pushes us almost into as last I heard, this, because of what they've done, dropping another 700,000 about over the last 4 or 5 days. Let me just explain that a little bit more. And what it is that they never existed. Those jobs never existed. They just pretended that they were there. And then I guess with the new government coming in, they had to try to prove that they actually have some responsibility. So all of a sudden, they took out 800 plus thousand, like 835,000 jobs about 4 months ago. And then last week they took out another 725,000 jobs. And so it's like, whoa, so they never existed. And so you've been keeping our GDP pumped up when in fact it was probably going into recession. And that's probably the reason why Mr. Powell has been just dying to lower interest rates. He knew it, obviously, back in November of last year. He knew that it was a lie. And that's why Mr. Powell's going to have some real problems being in his position, is that he never recognized inflation. So you got to say, why are you even there then? And then he didn't recognize growth because he kept on telling us how great the job market was. And his job is those two things, protecting the dollar from inflation and jobs, and he can't do either of them. So why is he in the job to begin with? That's the big question mark. And so it's not like, let's see if we can hurt Mr. Powell or complain about Mr. Powell. We're just saying we don't understand when the data is in front of our face and we keep on saying it, like I did. When you look at videos from 4 years ago and 3 years ago, and we're going like, inflation's coming in. Here comes the inflation. Watch out. Here, duck. The inflation's coming at you, right at your head. And Mr. Powell saying, nah, don't worry about it. It's transitory. And next thing you know, because of the way the Bureau of Labor Statistics has shrunk down the way they calculate inflation so that it can be less visible to the population, except for when you go into a store or you try to pay for something, and all of a sudden you see it smacks you right in the head. That's the real issue there. So it's gonna be kind of fun with Mr. Powell, because we have control of the Senate now with adult supervision. We have adults running the Senate starting on Friday, and we have adults running the House of Representatives on Friday, and we have a president who is an adult. Will be running the presidency in about 3 weeks, and so it's like, oh. What kind of changes are going to come? How about responsible changes? How about they'll pass a budget for the first time in, I don't know, 15 years or something like that, correctly. They haven't been able to pass a budget since, I guess, the Clinton years, the last couple of Clinton years. They haven't been able to do it. And they never passed it. They wouldn't let George Bush pass one. And Mr. Obama didn't care. So they didn't pass one. And Mr. Trump tried to pass one. And they blocked him. And now he's got all the levers of government. And chances are he's going to get something done. All right. Let me have a sip. Let me finish off my coffee. All right. So now, there's the bond. Right there, and you can see it's lifting up. They gave it a good charge there yesterday. Remember, it should be up all the way up to this area here. This is when the Fed started lowering interest rates. So now it becomes a slow, steady horse race to see, where that goes. In other words, the bond vigilantes may see good government, responsible government, and think, okay, we can buy these things again. But this was to remind the Democrats that this is not a socialist nation, and it doesn't work as a socialist nation. And I know that we've had many a president over the last 100 years, 120 years or so, trying to be a socialist nation. And I think we're finally coming to the end of that story. Finally, after 120 years, we're going to see capitalism practiced in the best responsible way it can be, because we know that socialism does a horrible job at it. All right. So that's the riff of the end of the year. Now let's jump over to the euro. Let's see what the euro's doing for the end of the year. There it is right there. And there it is right there. In a buy for a bunch of days, and it's trying to slide into the sell today. But again, we have the end of the year, and people have to... now what the hell happened right there? Skip. There we go. We're back again. There we go. Just got an ad on the webinar. How'd that happen? Let's say Happy New Year. I'm going to say Happy New Year on there. Maybe it has to show that we're actually New Year. How is that? There we go. Happy New Year. Happy, happy, happy. So, look how flat it is. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Look how flat it is. It's not going anywhere at the moment. Trapped down in that 104 area. There's no real conviction. There's no reason to have any conviction. You see, it went and challenged that low right here. So it's just basically just stumbling along. Been on that long weekly sell. Look at that. Now, matter of fact, look at the weekly sell. It's starting to dive again. I guess that means money. Let's show you on the spreadsheet. Money wants to run to America. And you can see right there, we're 14 weeks in a sell. We're 1 day in a sell again. Yeah, we're pushing into... Oh, I see. So it looked like it was closed in a sell last night, but it didn't. And we had that up on the spreadsheet. And today it's, it's making itself very clear that it is. So, and that is the magic of our math. It does a combination of like consciousness and algorithm. It's a very fascinating formula. A sip of the tea now. I like that. Remember, it's morning over here. It's 7:45 a.m. in the morning. So, it's chilly. It is the last day of December going into January. So we're chilly. A little cold, Let's see what the British pound's doing this morning. Now, remember, traders and viewers, or whatever you want to call yourselves, I like to call myself just me. So if you have any product you'd like to look at, put it up on the chat line. We'll go look at it. I don't have to do the rhythm that I do. I just do it so that we have a consistency going. But there's times where, we get involved in something that someone wants to look at, and we look at it. Like Abdul's been around, and we look at stuff he wants to see, or she sees, whoever Abdul is. And so Um, we do that. We look at things, stocks, currencies, bonds, commodities, whatever you want to look at, gold, silver, whatever it is, we'll take a look at it. All right there on the spreadsheet, let's highlight that too. Right there. You see it's 13 weeks in a sell, just as bad as the euro, basically. We went into the weekly sell up and, don't want to move that stuff around. What am I moving there? I'm not even sure what I'm moving. Is that it? Right up in here. We went into the sell right there on a weekly basis. Obviously, every week that went by, it stayed under the sell. It's just like when it went into a buy here, it confirms it each week. Each week reconfirms the weekly buy until it goes into a sell. That was a budget data, I think, and then that was also at the same time. I know what that was. Also, they started voting. They started filing a document to get rid of the government. That's right. I think they're doing their best labor to try to hold on, just the way Mr. Trudeau is in Canada. He has like a majority of his party doesn't want him in power anymore, but he'll hold on to power until he's forced to run in and get voted out. Same thing with Britain. Nobody wants Labour. They just didn't want Labour Light, which was the Tories. The Tories they're going to go the way of the Democrats in the United States. Like, bye-bye. Maybe you guys need to be realistic and you need to be a new type of political government that makes it life better for people, not sit on their back or put their boot on their throat. So we'll see. I think things are going everywhere you look. Italy, Hungary. You see France, they're trying to throw Le Pen into jail. The ADF in Germany is begging to have capitalism and get away from the socialism. And every time they talk that stuff, they go into this goofy stuff in Germany where they want to talk about like old 1930s capitalism. It's not capitalism, it's fascism. Fascism is socialism. You don't name your party National Socialism if you're a capitalist. I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand. Capitalists do not name their political parties socialist. So, there's cable. It's like the euro, except for it has made a little bit lower low. You can see that right here. Took out this low right there. Whereas the euro low, let's just show you again. The euro low is just a little bit underneath. It's been banging against it. It's become a support. When you look at the cable, on the other hand, it has broken down there. And it's still zigging and zagging. And I guess that's the politics, That political line now is really going to be sideways, I'd imagine, until they can get the exchequer cleaned up. That's the one that knocked out the capitalist Tory. She was like a Ronald Reagan or Lady Thatcher. She wanted to lower taxes, lower regulations, and allow people to keep their money in their own pocket. And the exchequer and everybody else went right against her and threw her out. And now Labor is in there. That's right. So they need to clean up the exchequer, just like we need, we need to clean up the Federal Reserve here, who doesn't know what inflation looks like, and obviously does not know what employment looks like, which is kind of weird to me. I mean, if you're getting paid all that money, you would think you would at least want to do your job. Obviously, they don't really care. All right, and from there we'll go over to the inflation fighters, and look at that. They're jumping across the top the resistance up there. If that starts to become a support, we're going to be a little bit surprised, but we'll see how they play it out. And that thing has been in a long weekly buy now, all the way back here. in October, like the first week of October, last week of September. And you can see it on the spreadsheet right there. 13 weeks. What's interesting, it's 15 days in a buy. I mean, that thing just keeps on climbing. Pressure's on there. I would imagine money is kind of just looking at the the different indices and so forth and the currencies. It does look like money does want to run back to America even more, which is not surprising, since pretty much most of the world is basically very weak. It's not very strong economically, and you have countries like Hungary and so forth, and Poland, who are strong, and they, Germany and France are weak because the socialists still have power there. So it kind of makes things a little sloppy for investors to come in and grow new companies and innovate, create new ideas. So pretty much, if America is not doing it, not many else. Oh, Israel. That's why the Israeli market is at all-time highs. Even with all the war going on, they're still able to fend off the killers, and at the same time, unfortunately, the killers like to hide behind their own population. But the stock market there, like the Saudi Arabian oil company, doing much better than a lot of places in the world. Let's see if we can. I like to call it rockets red glare. Let's see where the Israeli. There it is, right there. So they were correcting the last couple of days, probably tax situation, and I believe that is all-time highs, and we can give you a flavor of that. And that, and that, and that, and then here we go. Matter of fact, that's a headline today. How the Fed and Trump could collide in 25. See that there? Can you see? Oh, you can't see that. Let me do this. Let me just move you over to that. There's a headline today. Right there. How the Fed and Trump could collide. How could they collide? How could they not collide? They can't. They don't know what inflation is, and they don't know what jobs are. So, I mean, when you don't understand either of those, why are you even working there? I mean, what is your major malfunction? Yeah, look at that. Look how high it is. And I guess if we go back, let's see, we can go back 1 year, and we go back 5 years. Obviously, here is where they were attacked. October of where's it at? Right in here. October of 23. Right there. They were attacked there. The market backed off for about, what's that, maybe 3 or 4 weeks. And then they realized that they're going to clean these people up and get rid of them from... It's very hard to do manufacturing when people keep on throwing missiles at you. So you can see here, it's just rolling along. They've wiped out... They haven't wiped out their socialists, but they've knocked them back. Their prime minister has been he's a capitalist, and so he's been in the job the longest prime minister in Israel so far. Not since like King Solomon. So King Solomon had an electric. He had a glider, and he had an electric throne. So when he walked up to get on the throne, there were lions that would roar, mechanical lions. They lasted about 400 years and then poof, gone. And you can see the type of people that live around them. Obviously, they weren't exactly the smoothest, happiest people, because they're always trying to kill each other. And all you got Israel trying to do is grow their economy, build better medicine, extend people's lives, and defend themselves from getting killed. Microwaving babies. What insanity that was. The terrorists jumped in there and microwaved babies. No wonder their stock market like that. Ugh. Crazy people. So, that is what we're hoping for Germany to look like. That, all-time highs. And I think the DAX has been doing pretty well. Now, it's been a little bit sloppy of late. Let's find it right there. The DAX is, it's kind of, I want to say it's been stumbling along firm. I think that's the best way to describe it. There's the DAX. And we'll put that on the, where it's at. It's been hovering around the all times, doing the same thing as the Israeli index. They have some solid companies. Maybe this will be the year that they'll get rid of, what is it? Yeah, see, I guess that's the all-time. Let's see, no, that's not. That's just daily trading. Yeah, you can see that over a 1 year period. They're not far from the all-time high. They're doing fine. Last 3 weeks or so, it's been down. I think there's anticipation. And Elon Musk now is supporting the ADF. So I would assume, they're going to try to get some responsible people in that government and get rid of this social democrat rubbish. That stuff just does not grow anything. I remember when I was young, Germany, it was West Germany back then, and Germany was such a productive country. They practiced capitalism more, and they really tried to grow the economy and make life easy for people. But things have gotten tough, it's, and I guess what you could say is just like everywhere else in the world when it comes to stocks, the United States is the same way. We've lost a lot of companies, a lot of mergers and acquisitions, but we keep on getting new innovation, and that's good. Whereas, look at Nevada. 3 years ago, it was a penny stock almost. Now it's it's like a $1,500 stock. We just don't see that in Germany anymore. We don't see that in Britain anymore. We don't see that in France anymore. We need that innovation. We need growth. We need people willing to try to better their lives with their ideas to grow, and that helps the whole country in general. So now let's look at FTSE. I bet FTSE's looking about the same way. It's been kind of sideways. They've got this situation going on with they're trying to get rid of their government after only 4 months in office. So, and it sounds like Nigel's gaining some traction. Nigel's supposedly the betting market says Nigel is going to be the next prime minister, which is really cool. Nigel is a capitalist. He got his out of the European Union. Nigel is a capitalist and free market and free people type of guy. Less taxes, less government. Now there's the FTSE. And FTSE's looking pretty much the same way as the DAX. You can see it's coming down from these highs here, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I think it's like the high 8,000 or mid 8,000. And now we're just basically down at the bottom, just touching 8,000, playing with the 7,900 area. So that's not that bad. That's, you're very close. It's not like we're looking at Citibank or Deutsche Bank, who are like 75 and 85 and 95% away from all-time highs. Can you imagine that? Citibank in New York is 90% away, so it's only 10% from its from the bottom. That's all that is. Wow, what pain is that? How dysfunctional is that? Now here is the 6 month. You see, not bad. It's holding in the high all-time high area. Here's the there's right there is your all-time high back in June, going in May. I guess it's May. You can see here. This is a 5-year chart going back to 21. So they've climbed up. I guess that was after Brexit. They got their tit out of the ringer, I guess you could say. They're not tangled with the European socialists. But that's right. They imported them. Not homegrown. They imported them somehow into England. And right now, the Conservative Party and the Tories are got a large majority put together. And Nigel's group is almost tied with the Tories, or ahead of them, or behind them, or right around them. But the betting says that he could be the next prime minister. That'd be very interesting. And so there we go. Let's hope one day and here, let's give you a good example of what capitalism, even with our socialist, did to the United States. So let's put there's the S&P 500. Right there. And there it is right there. And there's 6 months. You can see way up, way up. And then we go look at 1 year, way up. You know, we were at 4,000 1 year ago, 4,800 basically, and now we're at 5,900. And then, you know, if we go and look at something like, let me just show you what Citibank has done. Because I say stuff like that, and people go, what is he talking about? Citibank's a 60, oh yeah, look at that, it's a $70 stock now. So, and you go back a year, and you go, okay, oh well, not bad, you know, it's 55, 70, oh, it must be flying along, must be doing great. And there's a 5 year, and you go, oh, wait a minute, it was up there at one time, back in 2020 during Mr. Trump's years. Then you go to the all-time, and there it is. And unfortunately, the Deutsche Bank is basically the same way, and the Lloyd's of London is the same way, and many other institutions are the same way. Merrill Lynch doesn't even exist anymore. It's owned by Bank of America. Yeah, and we've lost so many companies or consolidations from irresponsible leadership, or just really great innovation. You know, it can be either one of those that reduces these things. So there's Citibank. Look how far away it is from its all-time high. Now, the all-time high was like $665 at one point. We saw that. I don't know why it has disappeared, and they've shrunk it down to an all-time high now of 591. But either way, at 70, that puts it like, you know, 90%, if not more, 92% from its all-time high. All right, so there's just examples of what we're talking about when we go and say, okay, what is its all-time high? We look at everything through its all-time highs and all-time lows. That's the way we can tell what they're doing, how much their sector, how strong their sector is, or how weak their sector is, or how strong their management is, or how weak their management is. You know, it's the same thing with currencies. We're more towards the low end of the euro, where at one time the euro was always trading in the 150s and 140s and 160s now, which is not bad. You know, when you compare it to, say, make it that Al Einstein thing where you're looking at the relative to other things. I mean, look at the Turkish lira. The Turkish lira was 1 to the euro. You know, 10 years later, it's something like 37 or 36 to the euro. I mean, it's like not like 1.6. It's 36. Yeah, see, 36.7 with a high of 40 with a spike. You get these spikes once in a while. Somebody panics and they need to get in or to get out or they need to do something and they get raked over the coals. And so you can see here the Turkish lira, and it's, you know, it ain't used to be, and we can go back. I think we have a lot of, we keep a lot of data where you can see with President Aragon. He's been in power for 10 years now, and there's 2018. You know, and it was at the 5 area, and when he took over, it was at the 1 area. You know, he became prime minister, then he became president, and this thing has gone from 1 to 67, 66, something like that. Where's it at? It's at 30. I'm sorry, not 66. 36. 36.7. That's where it's at right now. So, you know, when you look at the euro, it's like, oh, well, that's not too bad. You know, I mean, the euro, you're talking about 1.039. It's actually below the 104 today. But we go back and look at that, you know, and let's see, there's November of 15, and there was 110. And it got up to, let's see, I guess there's 120, there's 124, 125 when they had England in there. There's 118, but it's only one. It's 1 point something, 1 point something. There's 112. It just bounces around. There's 122. Wouldn't the Turkish people be happy if their currency just went from 1.00 to 1.67? Not even 2? That would have been nice, Wouldn't be hard to take. There we go. I think I was thinking about the British pound. British pound was that way. Boy, when I first started trading British pound, it was like 5 or 6 to the dollar. Now it's 1.26 to the dollar. So 1 pound used to buy a lot more dollar. That's for sure. Well, actually, it was vice versa. So it's lost 70 or 80% of its value over the years. Now, again, bring in more socialism, you'll watch your economy go down the drain. That's why people need wheelbarrows to carry things in. All right, and then from there, let's see where are we at this point. Oh, you can't see that. You didn't see any of what I just showed you, so let's go show that. There is the cable, but let's go back to the Turkish lira. You didn't even see any of that. There it is right there. Go like this. There's back in 2000, was that 2015 or something like that? No, that's 2018. 2018, it was under 6 or around 6. And it used to trade normal, right? 6.00, 6.2, 6.4, 6.6, 6.8. It wasn't doing the worst, but the policy or the experimentation they were doing was making things tough. Then it got worse and better. Wouldn't they be happy in Turkey if it would just sit there at that 6.6 or 6.8 or maybe 7.2 even? That'd be like eating ice cream. That'd be like free candy. But no, they kept on experimenting. And look at that poor thing. Got up to 10 from 1. And then it fell back down to 8. It was like, oh, good. Let's stay down here. Maybe the next couple of years we'll get back down to 2. But no, they kept on experimenting. And the government experimented more and more and more. And the next thing you know is it's trading at 20. And it's like, oh, well, maybe now we flattened out for the year. Oh, please, let's not look at 20 ever again. But no, government had to keep on experimenting. And they had to keep on doing the same thing. What did Al Einstein used to say about that? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And then it found its way to 30. It was like, what are you doing to us? Isn't that 1.30? No, it's 32. It's 34, 33. It's like, no, stop that stuff. And you can see how many weekly buys we're in. We went over a year one time in a weekly buy, and we went another year like 49 weeks or 50 weeks. So that's why we pay attention to the high and the low, because it's like it tells us what are they up to. What is the management up to? What is the leadership up to? There are plenty of chairmen of corporations I would like to see that they don't exist anymore. They should be gone. They experiment with their companies, and sometimes they hinder them. Sometimes they experiment with them. Like I said, Nevada. Nevada is a great example of all that. Let's take a look at Nevada. It was a penny stock. It was a penny stock not far back. And they developed some good chips and processors, and the next thing you know is it's to the moon, Alice. And we'll show you that. Move you over to here. And there's Nevada, and it's trading at what is it trading at? It's trading at $137 yesterday. It's been bouncing in that 130, 140-ish area. That's the all-time high, right? 152. That's only like a month ago. So that's not too bad at all. And then when we go and take a look at it on a longer-term view, paste. Nope, not that. Let's go back to here. Copy. paste that in there. And then we go into, just go back a year. It was trading in the $50 area. Not bad for 52 weeks. Then we go into the 5-year. And it was trading in the the $4 area. At, was that? Oh, that's actually $6. So they were in the $6 area. Now they're $137. Then we go back to all time. And, no more than, 2015? It was a 48-cent stock. In 2020, it had 10-time fold. So it climbed to $5 from 50 cents in a 5-year period. Then it played around with the $30 area for a while, then fell back down again, and then their chip, it got down to $10, and now it's $137. That's what they call innovation. That is free markets, free people, capitalism. That's the way it's supposed to work. All right. So from there, let's see what else we're going to look at here today. Today is the last day, so we're just looking at anything and everything unless someone comes up with something. Let's go back to the currencies, since we always start off with currencies around here, and interest rates and the dollar index. Let's take a look at the yen. And there's the yen. Unfortunately, when the yen is rising, it's losing against the dollar, and when it's dropping, like right there, it's gaining against the dollar. And so it's losing against the dollar a little bit. But the last couple days, not bad. They're pushing into a sell. Let's see. Where's it at? Right. Where is it on here? Right there. So we are 3 weeks in a buy, 1 day in a sell. This is the second day in a sell, and that's what they're doing. And it's only, when you look at the stock market over there, it's only a couple $1,000s off. Not bad. It's trading at 40,000 or something like that, or 39,000 and change. And the all-time high is around 42,000. And it took something like 35 years to get back to it. And they did it this year because of the inflation. But the currency itself, you're looking at 156, and it has been as low as about 75. So the thing doubled in value. That's about it. Now that's definitely inflation, but that's only 2 to 1. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the best thing in the world when your currency doubles. Just ask the Turks. Their currency doubled from 1 to 2, and now it's at 36. So that's beyond. That's what they call super hyperinflation. For Japan, there's the. Let's see if we can get that right there. Let's show you the stock market over there. The stock market, the all-time high is 42,000. And you can see yesterday, it started off at 40,000 and closed at 39,800. Not too bad. You can't complain about that. Then we can take a look at the action. I think the all-time high was in July of this year, so not bad. And we'll put it up on the screen right there. Paste. And there it goes. There's 6 months. I think that's the all-time high right there at 42,000 back in. It was July. Yeah, it was July. And so then here's the 1 year. And there's your July high again. And that was mainly climbing because of the inflation. And I think we've tried to put the Turkey stock index in. Let's see if we can find it here. Turkey stock index. Pricing culture. Let's see. How if we go reverses and go cut and put that in. Paste. I mean, do they have an exchange anymore? We don't even know. How about the Turkish exchange? Let's see. Sometimes these financial, like Bloomberg is very bad at it. Could that be the Turkey index? I don't even know what that is. Brolex. CLT Brolex. I think that's the currency, so that can't be the Turkish thing. Some of the financial, like Bloomberg and Reuters and CNBC and AP and even Yahoo hide bad financial news to socialist countries. They like to pretend that they're okay. So they do. They try to hide it. It's kind of a drag. I hate that they do. Let's have some tea since they're hiding. I guess there's no exchange in Turkey. Let's take a look and see if we can find an exchange in Turkey. There must be a stock exchange somewhere. It's an industrialized nation. I mean, India has one. Let's see. Turkey stock market. It's the only way to fight inflation is to own the stocks. Turkish stock. Okay, Turkish. What's this? Turkish Capital Markets Board. That's probably like their Securities Exchange Commission. Turkey stock market quote and chart. There we go. We get something there. Borsa Istanbul. Cool. Let's see if we can get a picture of what's been going on over there. We've tried this before and they tricked us. Let's see. Here it comes. Okay, so they got something here. There must be a stock index there somewhere. Nice looking exchange there. They must be the trading posts. Let's see, here we go. BIST all shares. BST 100. There's the BST 30. That's at the 100 here is at all shares 100. Let's just take a look at will they give it a quote on that? Is there a symbol to it? You can't. I'm surprised this is not doing anything. It won't show us a chart. Maybe we can increasing. Well, that's good. Decreasing. What? Let's see. This indexes, equity. See if we can get one of these things. I guess look at the trade value. What is that? 83 billion, 857 million. No, it's in the trillions? That can't be right. Well, look at this one underneath it. Exchange traded funds. That's in the billions. No, it's in the trillions. It's in the trillions. Look at that number. So that's 83 trillion, 857 billion, 129 million, 270,000.20. That's why we can't even get a quote. Is there a way of getting a quote on these things? I've heard those stories when Giannis worked for Dukascopy. He said that he was in the bazaar there one time and they pulled all the prices down. And it just said, ask at the register or ask the vendor what the price is. So let's see, here's variant and certificates. Look at that. I don't know what that would probably be bonds, I'm thinking. So that's 192 billion, 45 million, 870,000.20. Wow. They're trading in the trillions? And that's why they can't put a quote up on there. Let's see if we can find something that'll show us a quote. Repo total trade value. Oh my God, that's even beyond. There's the hundreds of thousands. There's the millions. There's the billions right there. There's the trillions. I guess they're getting close to a Google. Let's see, what's trillions? Quadrillions? I think it's quadrillions. So this thing is 1 quadrillion on the repo market. What's this say here? It says outright purchase and sales total traded value. Okay, so it was up 133.91 today. What do we got here? That's 181 million. That's 178 billion. It's 49 trillion. So the total purchase today is at 49 trillion 178 billion. Whew. See what precious metals do. Okay, now they got that there. That's gold, I guess, right? 2,967. Wow. We've never really looked at. We've talked about trying. I just could not find anything, and it wouldn't give it to us. Notice the Google. Google are a bunch of socialists. So there's no way in the world they want to show us, the information about that. They'll do their best to hide anything bad when it goes on in a country that's practicing heavy socialism. China does show, and we've seen what's going on in China. Their stock index. Let's go take a look at that. Their stock index is about 50% down from all-time highs. 50, not 5. Not like the DAX or the FTSE. It's 50% down. Matter of fact, I think I want to bring that subject up a little bit more. I've been a little surprised to see the weakness. Yeah, so there it is. They smacked it down today. It's at 3,351, and the all-time high with the Shanghai index is it's like 6,000 something. So go back 6 months. There's 6 months. Ever since they did the sugar high, there is a year. There's 5 years. They really were falling even down more. They were down to like 2,600 and change. And then all times. There's the all time 6,071. So, they were getting below the 50 percentile again. That's why they had to lift it up. They gave it the sugar high. Now we've shown you that China is going to try to float another not another. They've never floated 3 trillion in yuan in bonds. They've never done that. They're going to try to float 3 trillion in yuan to perk up the economy. We unfortunately believe they need between 25 and 30 trillion to basically stimulate the economy. So China's not doing the best it can do, or at least maybe that's all they can do. Maybe they are doing the best they can do. We just know for a fact that it's well underneath the amount they need to perk up their economy. But they just had, the biggest military drills and buildup since World War II, since the 1930s. They said. Let's see if we can find that story. That's a fascinating story. Where's that? Right there. It's like, wow. Why are they wasting their time building a massive army when all they need to do is practice capitalism instead of whatever they're practicing now? See, I don't see it there. Maybe it's here. Oh, it must be here. There it is right there. China orders largest military buildup since 1930s Germany. Well, we know what that did for Germany in economics. Turned it into a basket case. From there, let's see. Oh, you know what I saw this morning too? I want to go to copper. Let me just show you on the other platform, copper. I was a little surprised that they're still showing weakness. So they're obviously, it could be the end of the year. Taxes have that influence. But we're seeing weakness in the copper here this morning. See, they're pressing it down again, taking out these lows. This is when the U.S. election was. It was up around the 450. Now we're trying to go after the $4 area. It's at 402.95. And we're seeing the same thing with silver. Now remember, it's the end of the year, so this could be just tax selling, but silver's doing the same thing, showing weakness. Gold, same thing. But nowhere near the damage, because obviously that's the number one precious metal. And we're going to end this today with looking at gold for the year, and we'll look at Bitcoin for the year. I think that's a fun thing to do. So, let's go to, here is gold for the year. Let's see, GC. Right there. There's gold for the year. All right, now let's put it up on the screen. That's just off our beta. Oop, not that. I don't want to copy that. I'll copy this. So we go like this. Copy. Bingo, bango, bongo. Slide that in. And this is gold for the year. There's February gold. We go back a year. You see gold was in the 2200 area. Was that 20? It was at 2000 coming into the year. So we were looking at basically $2,000. It traded as high as 2,800, basically right around there, 2,700 and change. It's at 2,600. Not bad, Now we're gonna do another one of those so we can match them up. And there's Yahoo. And we're gonna go find Bitcoin over the same time period. Right there. And let's put that in there. And slide that in. Paste. And let's just move this out of its way. Park it for the time being. Make that separate. So we got, and we'll go like that. So here is, we're going to show you, there's Bitcoin. And here's gold. And we'll see them side by side. Let's see if we can see how we do this. We can go into the advanced. I think that's what we can do, is the advanced chart. Like that. There we go. So we go, whoop. So there is, it went from 2000 to there. And then we look at Bitcoin over a 52-week range. There it is. Bitcoin went from, is that right? That's 1 year, yeah. So Bitcoin went, not sure why it won't let us go all the way back, but we'll show you in this, we'll just make it bigger and show you. It was in the, Bitcoin was in the 40,000-ish area. And it went all the way up to 106 or 108,000, I think it was one day. 108. Wasn't it 108? There, yeah, 108. So it almost tripled in price, Bitcoin. And then we look at gold. And gold went from 2,000 to basically 2,800. So it barely picked up a third, a little under a third. So Bitcoin almost tripled. It was like 2 point, to be exact, it was 2.5. It was 2.5 to be exact. Or 2.4, actually 2.42 to be exact. It went up 2.42 times. Almost 3 times, right? 2.5 times. And gold only went up less than a third. 0.3, actually to be exact, it was 0.289. So you can see the big difference between the crypto and the gold. And that's the way we're going to end the year, looking at it like that. All right, traders, this is Doc. We'll see you next year, which will be Thursday. And happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be Thursday next year. Happy trails to you. To all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart New Year's. Ta-ta for now. There we go. Title. Did we send that? How did we send that? Why won't it send that? Anyhow, we'll get that going. There it is. Title. Fed must change. That's the title today. Fed must change. Ta-ta.